Good afternoon, everyone. I'm back, and I am Doc Harmony. I'm the real Doc Harmony, and I am here today with Carol Morissette, and we are talking about Healthy Alternatives Wellness Center, and she is the owner, and I'm so excited to be with her today. This is a very unique location. This is a wonderful location where they have lots of services, lots of offerings, and lots of things that you can really get your hands on, get your life in, get your lifestyle adjusted, and have a really positive healing experience. So Carol, I know that you all are located up in Rochester, New York. Is it cold up there still?
It is still cold.
Yucky. Well, we are warming up down here, hence the short sleeves today, yay. And she is at 4358 Culver Road. All that'll be dropped down below. And we are just excited today. And Carol, I would love to just for everybody to know a little bit about you and how you got started.
Well, I got started in the wellness industry because I had a lot of health problems myself. And so that's what led me to Reiki and integrated energy therapy and sound healing. And so that's really what got me started, was my own health problems.
You know, that is how I got started. My little boy had ear infections, and after 6 months of antibiotics, and he was just puking them violently up, I'm like, this is crazy. And then I did some crazier called ear candles, but it actually worked. But that's another story. So Carol, what is it that at your location, I know you got sound healing, Reiki healing, integrated energy therapy. How did you decide on these modalities, and how did you come across them, and what is your favorite?
Well, I think my favorite would be the vibrational Reiki. So you get a combination of the traditional Reiki with the sound bowls. So the bowls are played actually on your body because they're therapeutic Zen sound bowls. They're slightly different than the normal sound bowls. Okay. Like the Tibetan bowls. So they have the same 9 metals, but they don't have the lead and the mercury content in them. So it's a purer tone.
Right.
And then I use the tuning forks on all the acupressure points and the meridians on the body to help clear any stuck energy.
Wow. So that takes a lot. So you are combining the Reiki with sound bowls that don't have lead and mercury, people. This is super important. What high quality here. This is amazing. And this is the kind of attention that you can expect here. She's going to have high quality. And then with acupuncture with the tuning forks, is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So instead of needles, you're having the vibration move the energy.
Oh, so there's no pain.
Right.
Oh, see.
Are you familiar with tuning forks?
Oh, I am familiar with tuning forks, and of course acupuncture, and Reiki, and of course reflexology in particular, because that's integral to ear candling. But I don't know that I've ever heard about the tuning forks being used so precisely like what you're talking about with this combination of therapies along the meridian pathways and the reflexology points. So now this is fascinating. How do you know, is it intuition, or is the forks telling you, or the bowls telling you what a person needs in an area of healing? How does that work?
So it's intuition, but it's also, you can hear it in the tuning forks and the bowls. They sound different on different areas of the body, so you know what the person needs.
Okay, all right. So it just kind of gives them a different sound, or it kind of goes lesser or higher or something?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite story?
For the Reiki and the sound, the vibration.
Well, like with those tuning forks, like anything that just kind of pops out.
Okay, so I had one client that had a frozen shoulder. And
oh my gosh! Look, halfway. I'm about halfway.
And I did about a half hour of the tuning forks on her and the Reiki, and that unfroze her shoulder.
I'm in. I'm coming to New York. I'm so totally. I've had this for 3 years. Now, I did have this one was totally frozen, but I was really meticulous about it and stretching and magnesium, of course, the topical magnesium. But That took a year. So I'm down for a 30-minute session for frozen shoulder. And Carol, I bet you see a lot of that. That comes from menopause. A lot of women don't know that. Frozen shoulders are a direct side effect of menopause in women. And that's why having our bioidenticals is so important, and being aware of that, unless you know something different. I'm open for all education. So, but it's just so fascinating. That is great. 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, that's a miracle. That's what that is, isn't it? Yes. So now in regards to the Reiki and how did you get trained in Reiki? So what does that look like, and how many years have you been doing that?
I've been doing Reiki since 2017.
Oh, wow.
Well, for quite a while. And I teach Reiki. I went all the way up to Reiki master level and teacher. And I actually have a class coming up on May 9th for learning Reiki Level 2.
Nice. So is there something on your website? Let's talk about that. healthyalternativesrochester.com, where people can go and register for your Reiki class. What was that, May 9th?
May 9th.
Nice.
Yes, there's on my events page, there's an events page that you can click on.
All right. Well, let's get that link. So we'll get a link, everybody. Put it down below. This will be amazing. That is one. Now, are you just going to do Reiki, or are you going to introduce other modalities?
Well, I teach Reiki at the Reiki class, and then they become certified in Reiki.
Okay.
They have to have taken level 1 in order to take level 2.
Of course.
And then I also teach integrated energy therapy, because I have the master level in that as well.
So now, is the integrated therapy where you're combining other therapies with the Reiki? Is that the distinction?
No, integrated energy therapy is working with the angels.
Oh, yes, I want to talk about
energy
that.
Field. Yes, so that's a totally different service.
Okay, so yes, I remember now. I had 3. So the reason why I'm so thrilled and intrigued about the angel conversation is that 2024. The end of 2024, I had 12 heart attacks. And so I would go into this deep meditation every time. I didn't know it was heart attacks. I thought this is how silly sometimes, Carol. I was just like, I think my heart is cramping up. So anyways, by the time I finally ended up in hospital, they were like, excuse me, I had a 90% Widowmaker blocked, which is very bizarre. I've been eating organic. I mean, all of it. So it was quite the mystery. But it actually ended up being a spiritual conversation, right? It actually ended up being that God needed to unharden my heart and block down those walls, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And along that process, so after the heart attacks, I started doing meditation. Have you heard of Joe Dispenza?
Yes.
I love Joe Dispenza. So anyways, on my first heart attack, I went into meditation, and I've been doing it 2 weeks. What a miracle, right? A miracle that I had started his class 2 weeks. And I hear in his voice in my brain going, stay. And I'm like, what? Stay. And until I said yes, my heart flipped and all the blood came rushing through. It was the oddest feeling I've ever had. So anyways, the angels, I went to one of his classes in Cancun, a 10-week immersion. I'm like, well, I owe him this much. He saved my life. And I had an angelic experience where the angel, it's like, I know you understand this, Carol. I became one like an angel. I'm not an angel, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's so hard, difficult to explain these things. And so I became as if I was an angel. And these big wings came around me and enveloped me. And they would go in and out like this. And as they did that, my heart got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was like kneading a ball of sourdough. You know how it gets bigger and bigger. And as that was happening, the dust, like I saw all this vapor. I thought it was vapor rising up out of my chest. So of course I'm in deep meditation, so I'm not logical. I'm just observing. I'm just being. And so I came out of it and I was like, oh my God, wow, blown away. But here is, Carol, you are going to flip. The next day, I was in a prayer circle. So 2 other women were in my prayer circle and they saw me. They're like, oh my gosh, how are you? I'm like, great. Oh my God. And they go, can we tell you what we saw? And I said, yes. And they saw an angel envelop me. And they saw all these particles of dust. They kept calling them particles. And at that point, my husband and I turned, I have chills. I just have chills. Me and my husband turned and looked at each other and we were like, it was all the blockages breaking up and releasing. And let me tell you, I just had my final heart cath lab 2 weeks ago. My plaque is down from 90% to 30. And all my soft plaque, 65 to 70%, is gone. Gone.
That's amazing.
Is that amazing? Like, people, this stuff works. See? And I know I'm talking way too much. I apologize. I just love this story. It's just such a miracle. And I am a miracle. And I get to be here and witness about this. So tell it. This is why I'm so interested in the angels. So tell me about the angels and your integrative therapies with that so that everybody can know about the miracles of angels.
So there's 9 angels of the energy field. Mm-hmm. And each one addresses a different part of the cellular memory. There's a cellular memory area. So the top of the head is releasing guilt.
Okay.
And each area, there's this different angel that helps you release different emotions.
Mm-hmm. Which one would the heart be?
The heart is Cassia.
And tell me about Cassia.
So she works with helping you to release from your heart, releasing heartache and replacing it with unconditional love. So when you're doing a treatment, you want to state your intention in the beginning. And then I call in the angels and start working with the angels. And then we, go through a whole treatment and, you'll release different things in different areas. Mm-hmm. And different angels come in for different areas of the body.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? It's so amazing. It's just miraculous. And I love this intention thing. And I love it. But I even, I had no, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just clueless to all of this. But I love what you said. It replaces it with Cassia, the angel, with unconditional love. And everyone who's known me before and after, my long-term friends, they're so funny. Bless their hearts. They're so funny. They're like, she's so much nicer now. So funny. And it's true, right? I get it. It's true, right? So, and it's just so, sometimes we have very rough experiences when we're younger, right? And we can blossom and come out of that when we just really spiritually release it and let it go. And I'm sure you've just seen tons of experiences and stories with that. Do you have a favorite story with your integrative healing and the angels?
Well, I was going to say, you felt so much happier because you released all those blocks in your heart and let the love in. Mm-hmm. So you opened your heart.
Yes.
And yeah. And so, with the IET, with the integrated energy therapy too, we start by, bringing energy into the area. So say to the heart, you're bringing the energy in, and then you trigger and you release, and then you bring in a positive emotion to replace the negative one.
Wow. So I bet you just really have just seen a lot of transformations on you, just that whole, I can only imagine what those people, when they were praying, doing this work with Joe Dispenza, the meditation, I had my blindfold on, eye covering and was covered up, and but you could hear crying, and it's so emotional. I'm crying, of course I'm crying, but the metamorphic transformation just of the emotions of how they looked before they laid down on the table and how they look afterwards. Like, I bet you that's pretty profound.
Yes, it is. Some people, I had one client that came in and she was just like, nothing was helping her, and she was kind of giving up, and she's like, oh, this probably won't help me. And when she got up off the table, she was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I feel like I can go on with my life. So it really can have some miraculous changes.
Well, gosh, yeah, going on with life that's a miracle, isn't it? That is beautiful. I love this, Carol. Now, I know that you also do our ear candling. So, how are you using that ear candling? Is that part of your Reiki experience, part of the angel experience? What are you seeing with that?
So for the ear candling, I have a lot of people that have sinuses or headaches, and they'll come in for the ear candling. It's a separate service. And then I will use the mullein ear oil on them afterwards. I put a little bit behind their ear and a little on their ear, and I do a little reflexology on their ear. And I usually use the tuning forks as well.
Oh my God. I bet you they're like, and here's the thing. People say, I don't know what you charge. I'm not going to here to discuss that. But people call me all the time like, what should I charge for that? I'm like, I don't know. What's the cost of, an ear candling session combined? And I always encourage, I'm so glad you said the reflexology points. I love the tuning forks. I haven't heard that before, but I can absolutely see how this would work. There's 126 reflexology points in the ear, and you've got the heart, spleen right here, and the lungs. And it's so funny because people go, oh my gosh, I feel so open. And it's like, oh, how is that related to anything? It's related perfectly because they feel so open. They're releasing those barriers and those spiritual and emotional blockages. So people always say, well, what should I charge? I'm like, what wouldn't you pay to get rid of your sinus infection? What wouldn't you pay to have your migraine disappear? You know what I mean? And it's regardless that it's emotional or spiritual, it came from somewhere, didn't it? And people really, I love how you're connecting the whole body together, right? Because it's mind, body, and spirit, right? And so when we bring all this together, everybody, I hope you're really listening, because what Carol is doing is just spot on. It is allowing the body to heal itself and return to a state of homeostasis as the way God intended for us to be. We can be in the Garden of Eden. We just have to put ourselves there, right? So do you have any great stories or anything? And perfect with the mullein ear. I think that's so neat. The little reflexology and the massaging with the oils is so powerful. So do you have any great stories for the mullein ear oil? For the ear candling?
Well, for the ear candling, my one client had been suffering for a long time when she came to me, and she came one more time this year. So she came a year ago, and it cleared her up, and she didn't need to come back until this year. So that's a pretty long time for, having had it for so long. And then also the mullein ear oil. I actually have someone that purchases it for their dog as well.
Yes. Now, yes, and we have, it's really super good for the dogs, and it cleans it out and it keeps all the stuff. My dogs are outdoors, so they're just filthy all the time, but their ears are always clean, so I'm like, okay, I guess it works for the dogs too. And so it's just really neat. Have you ever done like tuning forks with the animals?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Now see, that's a real testimony, isn't it? That's a real testimony. What was your favorite story with the animals?
Well, with my own dog, I had to do the tuning forks on her. When we first got her, she went, to get fixed, and I was a little nervous about it. And when they did her surgery, the doctor called and said she was fine, except that they had a new tech, and the tech used, I guess they had little baskets, and she took the basket from a German Shepherd with arthritis and gave that shot to our dog. So she was bleeding, and she was like all kinds of problems. She had to go to emergency, and we weren't sure she was going to get better at that point because she had so much going on. And so anyways, so I ended up going, and they had a nice little room at the emergency vet, and you could sit in there with your dog, and I did a little Reiki on her, and I brought her favorite blanket and toy, and I did the tuning forks on her. Now, I didn't want to use them on her because there's the weighted ones that you use on the body, and then there's the unweighted ones that you use in the energy field. So I just used the ones in the energy field on her.
Nice. And it made a big difference, didn't it? Good. And I'm glad you said also we don't necessarily have to touch the body. You know, we can just have that energy right around the body and the aura and everything. And I think that's what's so neat about the tuning forks in your sound bowls. You know, and I do have a question though for you. So let's just say I'm brand new. I come in, you know, I'm healthy, but let's just say I'm a typical female. I might be, you know, menopause or overweight, hot flashes, you know, kind of, you know, most women that are going through menopause are not in their happy moments. You know, they're in life crises, empty nest. You know, I mean, there's a lot going on is what I'm trying to say. What do you think? How do you decide what modality to use with them? How do you know what to do?
Well, I would probably have them do the ionic foot detox.
Oh, yes.
And
love it.
Yeah. And then I would probably do vibrational sound massage on them. Mm-hmm. And probably recommend the magnesium oil.
Oh, well, of course, magnesium. So, Carrie, you're going to love this. So, while I was my husband, he's so patient with me. Like, the other thing I would do is, because of course we have the topical magnesium oils and creams, I would take this, and I was just spraying my heart area all the time, and I was just like massaging it in there, and he's like, babe, and I'm like, I got this. He's like, you have to go to a doctor. I said, God will tell me when I need to go. I will be, you know. But, you know, it's just so funny. And it helped. I mean, it just reduces that stress and that tension. And and please, I do think I need to say after that example that I would not recommend that for anyone at home. So you just kind of use your intuition then, right, Carol, to kind of go with, okay. And what is your number one service? What is it that most people are coming in there for?
I would say the vibrational Reiki.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a lot of people that come for cranial sacral as well.
Oh, you are just such a gift. What a surprise. You know, I was just thinking about that cranial sacral. Do you think that cranial sacral therapy would help with obstructive sleep apnea? What do you think?
I think so, because it really helps to get everything moving, the cerebral spinal fluid between the head and the sacrum.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, you know, and I have a story about that. So I had a client and an older gentleman, you know, and you know how some of these older gentlemen are just the cutest little beings ever. You're just like, oh my God, so adorable. So anyways, he was just a farmer, a very successful farmer. So, you know, he would kind of always wear suits. He was so dapper. And he lost his motor skill sets because the cerebral spinal fluid was filling up in his skull, his head area, which of course, as you know, can cause migraines and motor issues, etc. So by the time they called me, you know, don't they always kind of call us last? But anyways, it's okay. And they, he was just he barely could eat. He had to have a full-time nurse to help attend to all his needs. It was just, and you could just tell he was miserable. He's like, just put me out of my misery. So anyways, they drilled holes in the head, Carol. I'm begging the family, please don't do this. Please don't do ear candles, do ear candles. Now, ear candles don't suck anything out, people. Just let's remember that. So they didn't listen, and so they go, no, it's working. Well, of course it plugged up, right? Of course it did. So they drill another hole. I'm like, please stop. So anyways, after the second one plugged up, they're like, okay, we'll try anything. Okay. You know, because the ear candles are so much more dangerous than drilling holes in the back of your skull. I mean, I'm sure as a cranial sacral therapist, you're cringing over there going, oh, you know, just the destruction of the energy, right? The energy flow. So anyways, it made a huge difference because just like you were talking about, all it does is it's helping the body get back into that energetic fluid movement where it's going all up and down. It was just spiritual and emotional blockages that it would just get stuck. But then the ear candles stimulating the reflexologies, opening up the chakras, allowing everything to naturally dilate and decongest, drain naturally, not pulling fluid out of his cerebral spinal area, people, but you know, just keeping it going in fluid. By the time I saw him next time, he was back walking and eating all by himself. I know. Is that amazing? Amazing. And if I had known cranial sacral, that's where I would have started. I would have really, I think that I love how you combine the therapies, you know, in taking that cranial sacral thing, which I'm not certified in, and then with that ear candling, I think it would have been like like the family would have been like, holy cow. I mean, they were already, but you know what I'm trying to. So do you do children? Do you work with children?
I do children as well.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. With the cranial sacral or all of it?
All of it, but it's just shorter sessions.
Of course. Aren't they, what do you think? Aren't they more responsive?
They are, yeah.
Oh my God.
Animals are too. Animals are a lot quicker response.
Right, right. Because they have no rackets or stories, do they?
Right.
Well, what is your is your preference, is your specialty? Like, I do have a friend here in Georgia. I'm in Georgia, so she does do cranial sacral as well. She actually works with autistic or ADD, you know, those kinds of realms. And she says that it's just miraculous what she's been seeing with her clients in the cranial sacral. Do you have any experience with that?
We had an autism day last year, and they came and did the foot detox, the salt room. And the one thing they really liked about the salt room was I have chromotherapy lights in there, which are good for seasonal affective disorder. And so they really enjoyed the lights.
Okay.
And it ended with meditation for them.
And they actually sat still?
It was a short one, but they did. Yeah, because I kind of showed them all of the, you know, the bowls and the gongs and the different instruments. And I have something called the happy drum. It's a tongue drum, and I let them play that. So it kind of, you know, got them all in the mood they all had a blanket and a pillow and laid down on a mat and did the sleepy turtle meditation.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And I had a couple little stuffed animal turtles that they could use.
Nice. That is so precious. That is so precious. Now tell me about these lights, about this for the people with that have an effect by the temperature changing.
Oh, like for Rochester, that's pretty much everyone. So seasonal affective disorder, when there's not that much sun outside, and people tend to get depressed. So the salt room is basically for any type of respiratory condition or skin condition. But the chromotherapy lights, the reason that I got it is because we do live in Rochester and there's not a whole lot of sun. So I had the chromotherapy lights added to the salt room.
Okay, everybody, chromotherapy light. This is so important for your area. I think I would go crazy. I just don't think I could do it. It takes a lot, doesn't it? It's a lot. So I do red light therapy, and that helps, you know, but gosh, without that sunshine, you know, I'm in Georgia or Costa Rica, and it's like without that sunshine, I hate rainy season, and I love the rain, don't get me, but you know what I mean? Like I can feel after 3 to 5 days, it's like this, ooh. So if somebody doesn't have these chromotherapy, whatever the lights, chromosome lights, what can they do? Because this is a chronic condition.
Well, the lights change color, so you're getting the wide spectrum of different colored lights. So I guess you could probably find something that did that.
Right. Or I think everybody should just go to Carol's place. I think everybody should just go to Carol. You'll be able to breathe better, your skin's gonna look great, and you're gonna feel great because you're gonna have that increase in vitamin D and everything. Well, gosh, Carol, I'm so excited to have met you, and thank you so much for always being such a great supporter of Heal and Healthy Energy. And of course, as you know, Healthy Energy is an amazing life, doesn't it? Without healthy energy, it's really difficult to have an amazing life. So is there anything that we left out here that people, I know it says you sell kombucha, you do yoga, I mean, you are just a one-stop place, aren't you?
Yes.
Good. Now, is it just you, or do you have other practitioners that work with you?
I do have another practitioner, Caitlin, and she does mental health counseling. And I have Amber, and she does readings with astrology readings. Okay. Yeah. And then I have a crystal shop. I don't think I mentioned that. So I have some crystals and essential oils and the Heal products. A lot of things up there.
Well, we just love you. We think you're great, and I'm so excited that I've got to spend some time with you and work with and let everybody know. I have just learned so much, and I just love the angels. I love what you're doing, and I really, really want to honor you and thank you for your commitment to the world. You know, I think we need a lot more people like you out there.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, I have an annual retreat every year at Light on the Hill.
Okay.
And, that's in Eaton, New York. It's about 2 hours from Rochester. And I usually take about 20 to 25 participants. And we do a lot of, meditation, walks in the woods. I do I do a lot of energy work and a lot of different meditations with them.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And I think I'm so glad you said that. So when is that coming up, you said?
That's August 7th, 8th, and 9th.
August 7th, 8th, and 9th, everybody. And I bet you it's beautiful up there in the fall, in August up there. Is it mountainous or I think so, no?
Yes.
It's beautiful. So I'm familiar with the Adirondack area, so I don't even know if that's close. And it's just beautiful, the mountains and the tree. I'm just shocked how much outside of the city, how beautiful New York is. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, I hope you have enjoyed your time with Carol as I have. And please, everybody, when you're considering your spiritual and emotional and mental healing, and you want to treat yourself, and women are so stuck on self-care. Let's do some self-loving here, people. Let's really do something that's going to open up yourself and get you, like Carol said in the very beginning, unconditional love flowing through, unconditional love healing and nurturing. There's tons of offerings here, there's tons of services, and I think that Carol is just everybody can see her commitment and how intuitive that she is, and I'm just so honored to have been with you. Is there anything you would like for everybody to know before we close?
Just, I hope everyone can take back their health naturally, like you and I did.
Oh, yes. Makes all the difference, doesn't it? Oh, I do have to tell one more story, Carol. You will die laughing. So when I had my last heart cath and then all the blood work, and I'm so meticulous, I've been tracking all the heart test stuff, anything related to heart. And so the numbers started out high and now they're super low. So the doctors keep looking at it and they're like, we don't believe those numbers. I'm like, what do you mean you don't believe those numbers? They go, well, I mean, like you must have gotten improper labs. I'm like, it was from your lab. I don't think it was improper. It's just so difficult. And I just kept going, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. When you are using God's nutrition, his herbs, his meditation, prayer, wellness products, it works, doesn't it? It just works.
It does.
So everybody, please come and visit Carol. Tell everybody Harmony sent you. And Carol, it's been wonderful to know you and get to know you and celebrate you and all these wonderful things and commitments to the world. And I am Doc Harmony. Healthy energy is amazing life. Ciao.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.